The Killing of a Sacred Deer is the latest film by director Yorgos Lanthimos and stars Colin Farrell, who he directed in The Lobster, as well as Nicole Kidman and Barry Keoghan. Stephen, played by Farrell, is a surgeon who is wealthy and lives happily with his wife and 2 children. He spends quite a bit of his free time with a teenage boy, providing mentorship and company to him.
Me and my mom thought it'd be nice if you came by for dinner tonight. We could watch the rest of the movie. Does 8 sound good for you?
That's very kind of you, but I just can't make it tonight.
This relationship and what follows is key to the narrative and devolves in strange and horrible ways. But don't worry, you're safe from spoilers here. Sacred Deer, as I'll be referring to it henceforth, is crafted with perfection. The camera is extremely voyeuristic and seems to follow characters through the story, like an omnipresent force in every room.
This time around, I just had this feel that the camera should be almost like another presence, like an entity that followed all these people and, was hovering above them or creeping from below and always be there, watching them, observing them.
Lanthimos uses slanted angles, slow zooms, and wide shots that disorient the audience and adds to the level of discomfort in the film. These technical elements tie in perfectly with the broader themes of fate, justice, and higher powers, and works to unsettle audiences at every turn. Farrell's character Stephen is a surgeon and has this superior air about him. He's brought down to earth by later developments, and we see the real character below the surface over time. Martin, played by Barry Keoghan, is an absolute oddball. He walks this fine line between innocent and vulnerable on the one hand, and completely weird and demented on the other. The kids in the film are great as well, and Nicole Kidman brings another stellar performance to screen, adding to her exquisite 2017 filmography. It's tough to talk about story without spoiling the film, but things suddenly go pretty bad in Stephen's life, and he's left with a tough decision that he must make before it's too late. This is where the film falls apart for me. After The Lobster, I knew I shouldn't be interested in feeling catharsis by the end of the film, because that's not how Yorgos Lanthimos tells a story. He means to upset audiences and purposefully removes gratification from the process, upsetting the entire paradigm concerned with the consumption of film as a medium. But this universe sets up rules and then abandons them, which is unacceptable. Another problem is that this year another film did this whole thing better, and that film was Mother by Darren Aronofsky. Mother dials everything up to 11, and after seeing that it feels as though you're out of the fire and into the frying pan with Sacred Deer. This comparison may be considered unfair, but I can't separate these two films as they are both metaphors within a mythical version of reality. The Killing of a Sacred Deer is visually stunning, but falls short in comparison to other weird and unsettling films this year, as well as the previous commercial work of its director. And even if the former comparison is considered unfair, the latter is perfectly acceptable. Dear oh dear, this one gets a mild 6 out of 10 from us.